time again? I said, is it time again? Is it time again? Is it time again? Is it time again? Oh yeah, so time again. Okay. Hey guys. So it's a weird intro. We're gonna do some more little CD unboxings, so let's go into this. Take out one, so it'll be easier to do and all that stuff. But try to see, because I think I'm coming near the end of this part. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so this one is Cosmo Grandma by Flying Lotus. He is the what is it? He is the niece of John Coltrane, but I think he's actually related to Alice Coltrane. Yeah, Alice Coltrane is his aunt, which was John Coltrane's wife, and he's an electronic musician. You might have, if you haven't heard of him, you might have heard a bunch of his songs if you watch Adult Swim, because they play a lot of his songs in these little bumps. But he's one of the, I would say he's arguably the IDM musician that I would say had the most commercial success, because he's actually a pretty popular electronic musician. I'd probably say he's really good. Well, I noticed, great producer. Let's see here. Okay, so this Philosophy Design Comfort by Sweet Trip, and this is not the reissue of it. This is just, I just got this before it had a vinyl release, and now it has a vinyl release now, which is that. And but this is just the original CD it came with. I always thought the track list was kind of interesting, because it has a picture that kind of relates to every title. But this is one of my favorite albums of all time. This is one of my favorite electronic music albums too. This is a masterpiece in my eyes. And the people in the band, I've actually messaged them, and they replied pretty much every single time. They're really cool people. They seem like really, really good guys. The musicians do. And I have a lot of respect for musicians that interact with their fans. This one is Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. This one is probably my third favorite album that they did. I would say it's one of probably the most underrated, I'd say. They're not a group I listen to a whole lot, but there's some diehard fans that kind of see this as their best release, even though you might not recognize a whole lot of songs off of it, but I can see why though. But this is a good album though. Exile on Main Street. But yeah, and this is my mom's dad gave me that. He just had a bunch of leftover CDs. He just let me have that. Alright, this is an album I have not listened to, but this is an Anthrax album, and I'm familiar with one of their albums I listened to. I have not listened to this one though. This is just one of my dad's albums, and Anthrax is definitely my least favorite out of the big four of thrash. They're also the least popular. And I actually even would say I can name a handful of thrash metal groups that aren't in the big four I like more than Anthrax, but yeah, Anthrax is alright. They're fine. And there's one I have not listened to either, but I do like hold on. I do like some stuff that Eric Clapton has done. I haven't really listened to a lot of his solo stuff, but he's done some works in some groups that I enjoy quite a lot. I have not listened to this, but hold on. There we go. That's just one of, I think my mom owned that one, either my mom or my dad, I'm not sure which though. Alright, and here's an album by one of my favorite bands. This is the first album by Overbird I5 capital letter, something like that I think. And this is when they were a black metal group, and when they sung in Norwegian, so from Norway. and then they switched to electronic music and sung in English. And a lot of people say this is their best album. This is definitely a masterpiece in black metal. It's my second favorite release. My favorite by them is Perdition City, which is an electronic music album they did. But this is a really great album too, though. One of my favorite black metal albums. So they kind of, anything they kind of touch is kind of gold. You can kind of do anything. I think they're really talented over his stuff. I'm not going to do this one. This is just an album I own 2 copies of. Alright, this one's Nimrod by Green Day. This is a good album. This one has a Time of Your Life on it. But this is a good album though, Nimrod. Hold on, let's see here. My favorite by them is probably Dookie, but kind of hard to beat Dookie though. But yeah, this is a decent album though. Green Day has kind of released a lot of crappy albums as of late. Especially their brand new album is really bad, but they had some really good stuff. They're definitely still in my eyes one of the best pop punk groups. So yeah. Good Riddance, that's the name of the song. My bad. It's not called Time in Your Life. But, okay, so this one is Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, and this is kind of hailed as a masterpiece. A lot of people consider it to be one of the greatest albums ever written. They're an Irish shoegaze group, and this is kind of seen as the definitive shoegaze album. And for me, I wouldn't say it's the best shoegaze album, but I feel like a lot of people might kill me for not thinking it is. But I do love this album though, but it took me a really, really long time to get into this because it's, I feel like if you listen to it for the first time, it might basically just sound like bunch of ambience or I don't know, something people might find it boring on the first listen, but when you really kind of get a full-fledged listen into it, it's really, really magical, this album is, and it's very dreamy, and I can see someone not being too big on it though, but it's not for everyone though, but this is a really pretty album though, I think, and took me a bit to get into, but yeah, this is definitely a masterpiece in shoegaze, but it's not my number one shoegaze album, for me at least. Okay, this one's Hesitation Marks by 9 Inch Nails, and the only reason I got this is just because I thought it was cool that it was like a book, and because this isn't really one of my favorite 9 Inch Nails albums though. I just thought the packaging looked really cool and wanted to get it. And I think I've only listened to it all the way through like a couple of times, but this is one of their more recent ones, but it's not one of my favorites. But it's an okay album though. I don't think 9 Inch Nails really dropped anything that was like horrible. They're pretty consistent, I think. Alright, here's the Deadmau5 album I do like. This one is Random Album Title by Deadmau5. And yeah, this is probably my second favorite Deadmau5 album after a while when I was listening to. But this is a really great album too though. This has the song I Remember on it. That's one of my favorite Deadmau5 songs. Just kind of folds out like this. And yeah, I Remember is probably the song Brazil is really good, and Guru. I Remember is definitely the best song on this though. But yeah, this is a really good album, random album title. Yep, so let's see here. Alright, this is the Black Album by Metallica. If you look really closely, you can see a little snake and then their logo right there. This is probably one of their most overrated albums, I'd say. But I don't know, there's still some good songs on this stuff. But Nothing Else Matters is I used to always play the little intro on the guitar because it's really, really simple to play the intro of it. I'm not very good at guitar though, but I was always able to get that and play a bit of the song. But that song, Nothing Else Matters, is really pretty. Enter Sandman is another good song off of this. And yeah, it's a really good album though. But yeah, well, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say it's really good, but I don't know. It's a decent album. One of the more overrated ones, but there's some really good songs off those though. Sorry. Maybe I guess I just kind of say too much stuff and you just kind of Oh, pops in my head sometimes. My baby. All right. This one's "Collapse" by Aphex Twin. This is his most recent album, and I'd say this is my favorite out of his recent releases. This is an EP, and it's a really cool album, cool EP. I think cover's kind of interesting. It's basically just his place where he grew up, but they collapsed it into his logo, and I have the vinyl version of this too. But yeah, the first track, T69 Collapse, is a really great track. There's a lot of progressive elements in this. It's a pretty fun album. Yeah, a good return to form as well. Alright, this one's Master of Puppets by Metallica, and this is by a lot of people kind of seen as their masterpiece. For me, I prefer Ride the Lightning, but this is probably my second favorite album that they did. But this is still a really good album though. Master of Puppets. It's a little booklet, just kind of has the song lyrics and everything. My favorite off of this is probably, let me think. Probably Welcome Home Sanitarium. That's probably my favorite off of this, if I had to say. We'll do one more CD and then we'll just call it for quits for the day. Alright, Alright, this one's Garage Incorporated. This is just a cool covers album. My dad got me this because he really liked the song off of this called Bread Fan. And they actually did an EP after this called Garage Continued that I actually prefer over this, but I don't know, this is okay. It's just a thing where they do a bunch of covers, basically, is kind of all it is. It's just an album where they just do covers. But I don't know, it's an alright album. There's some really good songs. Like I remember they did a Misfits cover. What is it called? Oh, and this one has album covers for all the songs that they did. What was Die Die My Darling, Die 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 My Darling, don't utter a single word. Yeah, that's my favorite off of those probably. That's a little Misfits thing. That's Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and yeah, they have little pictures of all the. They did a Diamond Head cover, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't listened to this all the way through, but I don't know. I mean, Metallica isn't a group. They did a King Diamond cover too. I'm assuming it's King Diamond in there. Yeah. I would say Metallica. Oh, there's another Misfits on both of these. Metallica isn't a group I listen to a whole lot, but I really respect them as musicians. They seem like really cool dudes. There's Motorhead. Oh, hey, they did a Nick Cave cover. Wait, let me see here. Loverman, yeah, that's a Nick Cave song. That's actually my favorite Nick Cave album also. And Let Love In. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they clearly know a lot about they seem like really cool dudes. Metallica does. So I don't know. I probably would someone I would have a little conversation with. I had the opportunity to see them live, but I didn't want to go because I always felt like I want to see a group live if they're a group that's one of my all-time favorites, and I kind of regret doing that because I probably would have enjoyed seeing them live. I do enjoy their music though, but that's kind of it. But for this video, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.